Oh, look at that silhouette, huh? That's a sight for sore eyes. Well, it'll make your eyes sore. Get some lights on this place. Get the shop compressors going. Get the shop doors open. Let's look and see what kind of weather we got. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, the airplanes. People like to, people say crazy stuff about that. If you want to know what that is, jet engines making condensation because they burn so hot. That's the moisture coming out of the exhaust. Anyway, we're here to educate people about airplane exhaust. We're not here only to turn lights on and open a shop. We're here to spend the whole day in the shop. And I'm Jimmy. The channel's Making It Work if you're new. We got a Mustang GT project we're doing. We're almost done. We got to do two window motors and an alignment on it. And we'll see what else we got. We got a customer sitting in a car in the parking lot with a Subaru. I guess that's going to be something we'll have to work in. Shouldn't be a problem. And we got quite a few vehicles out here waiting for. I got to take a Kia engine apart for the insurance company or extended warranty company. They want you to take the engine apart to see if they'll cover it. And if they say no, then it's on the customer. It's kind of a messy way to do it because then we don't have a lot of options at that point. We'll see what happens with that one. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's try to learn a thing or two, you guys and me. And let's try to have some fun. I know we'll have some fun. Stay tuned. All right, we're gonna fire up this morning with the window motors on the Mustang. I got the passenger side one out already. I'm working on the driver's side first this morning because the sun's over there and I don't want the sun beating on me. It'll turn me all red because I'm Irish. One thing I gotta do though is disconnect the electrical connector because it won't let you pull it out otherwise. Luckily I got a tool for that right here. This barely fits through, but it fits. There you go. That thing's seen some life. Let's go see what the new motors look like. Well, something's not right. It's the same, but different. Oh, you know what? I bet you that gear just slid out. It's splined underneath. Oh, yeah. So, the height on those gears will work, but the gear is like half the size as far as the height goes. What I really don't like is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's not going to work. The gear's 2 teeth smaller. What's going to happen is the teeth are the same size, but this gear is larger. So this gear is going to skip on the regulator. Let me go have them check the application, and we'll see if we get these Chinese kids back to work, or Mexican or Indian kids or somebody. Before I do that, let me look and see if this other motor is right, and it actually looks like it has more teeth on it. That may explain why that other motor box was open. That's what it's supposed to look like. That's the see, the gear's much bigger on the one in my right hand. This motor is either boxed wrong or just basically wrong. They're both the same too. I would have thought one would face this way. All right, I got Paul working on that. They got me 2 left side motors. The one in the box was open, so I'm thinking someone had them out of the boxes and put the motor back in the wrong box or whatever. But because it doesn't have the right amount of teeth, it doesn't really matter what side it's from. So I went over and checked on the right side. That's also 11 tooth. So he's got to get me a right side 11 tooth motor. And I'm not going to be here Friday, so hopefully they get it sorted out by tomorrow. We got multiple harnesses here because this is a multi-application motor. Not a big deal. I haven't had problems with them, connections or anything. They seem to work well. We'll figure out which connector it is. It's got to obviously match the car. Square 2-pin, but the later model Fords have round connectors and the older ones have a square. Well, sadly, they give you the adapter for the more modern motor to the old connector, but it's short. And it's not going to reach all the way out the door here. So then you got to use 2 adapters to get it to work, which, like I said, I haven't had a problem doing it this way, but I just wish we had just the correct one and you didn't have to do it, but it works. It's not a big deal. Just something I have to get past. The fun part's going to be snaking this in there. You got to kind of push the regulator out, hold the glass up, get this motor in, and get this popped into the hole inside here. So we'll fumble with this a few minutes and I'll bring you back when I'm close. My plan is to get the motor close and put my Phillips driver that goes on my bit driver, put it through the holes while I try to fumble with everything and get it lined up. It'll kind of help me hold the motor when it's in there, because there's a glass track right in front here that blocks your way. So you got to go around the glass track and into the notch, into the hole. I'll show you guys what it looks like inside there. If you don't know, some people might not be familiar, but that's basically what I'm trying to get to. I'm gonna put a little grease in there too, just to feel better about it. That orange brake silicone grease is really good stuff for that. Ah, I fell down. That's terrible. Alright, I think that's it. Sometimes you gotta jiggle the window regulator here. I just put a pry bar between the scissor and the rail. There's a rail that runs this roller, so that when the motor turns and this holds it, it has to go up and down, right? Or bend something, one or the other. So, make sure we're engaged in the gear all the way. You don't want to bend anything. We should be good. Alright, once you can't raise or lower the window, you know the teeth of the motor are engaged, right? It actually rocks the whole regulator. I can't move it, so it's safe to tighten it up. And you can see why I loosened it, just to get a little more room to play with. Where's my electrical connector? You guys take it? Oh, there it is. Never mind. I got it. Make sure it's not going to get caught in the glass anywhere. And they give you this sweet new clip. This is like for wiring, it's not for that. This is to reconnect the wiring with a tie wrap. Let me see where they want you to put that one. Both of them are for that. So that means I have to take this one off. I thought it was one of these. Nope. Not too bad. We'll figure it out. That's what we do. Alright, let's turn this key on. Try this thing out. Alright. Even the auto down works. Yeah! Brand new car coming. It's like a starting to get the new car smell. Where's my air fresheners at? Start putting my water shield back up. Nice, smooth and easy once you have the right parts and all. Yeah. Speaker. The electric fan faces down, I think. Yeah. Does it? Or does it face up? No, it must face up. Yeah, that's the way the speaker sits flat. Where's my Phillips screws? I know I got 4 of them in a little pile right here. Oh, that's nice. It doesn't look very organized the way I keep the parts, but trust me, it makes sense to me. Gotta take a little break every once in a while. This door panel has a bunch of feet on it, and they all hook down in these little slots everywhere. This is where my 2 Phillips screws goes. If you guys remember, the right side door had both screws, and I broke this one off the door panel, and I had to glue it back on. This one was missing one, which I took the side apart first, so I didn't know about the second screw. Anyway, I am going to find a screw to put a second one in it, because that's what keeps the armrest solid when you pull on it. This metal bracket is melted on here, basically plastic welded, so that it gives it more structural stability. I want to get my connectors out of here where they're going to end up. Make sure this connector's out of the door panel for the speaker. Then you line up your lock. There's a little tube in the door panel for it. Now you want to kind of hook the top without pulling it off the doorknob, the lock knob. Ah, see that? We're so close. You don't want to push it down the notch too much, because you got to catch the feet at the same time. It's definitely a process, and there is a bunch of feet to get caught. So you go back and forth a few times till you get them all. And if you miss one, the door panel will bulge out somewhere, and you'll have to lift it back up. Not really a bad setup when they're new and everything's nice and formed. Start getting old, things start to buckle and give you a hard time. I think that's that. There it is. Alright. Now the top came out, of course. Ta-da! It's all part of the fun. You know, you gotta, a lot of places you gotta pay for that kind of entertainment. Get a no charge on the Making It Work YouTube channel. Just one of them things you just mess around with it, tinker with it, try to stay patient. You gotta find a screw for this thing. Closest screw I have is just a little bit longer and a little bit thicker, but not much. We'll see if it goes in. It goes into a sheet metal clip, so it shouldn't be a big deal. I'm gonna put the bigger one in the most important of the holes. And this one was the one that was in there. That screw was in there. All right, feel pretty good about an upgrade. That's an upgrade. Connector, yeah. Screws already in the hole, and I don't want to fall out into the door panel at this point. Try to make sure I can get to it. The slight magnetism on this bit. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. Speaker grill pops on. Came off really hard, but it goes right on. Door handle bezel, I guess they call that. I didn't get the back caught in. The back is just a notch, and the front is where the clips are. You got to catch the notch in the back. Hopefully it's not broken. No, it's there. It's just really shallow. Not a lot of wiggle room. You either caught it or you didn't. There you go. And armrest. This is 2 Phillips screws and connector, which I don't know if this is. Yeah, it's for the mirror. 2 Phillips screws in that, and we're done. Ah, studio lighting down. Didn't gravity check. It just tipped over, so it's a little tipsy. It's a little early in the day to be drinking there, buddy. This is where it's nerve-wracking because the plastic is old, but there's not a lot you can do. There's not a lot of wiggle room. See, this clip doesn't really hold anymore, and it was like that before I took it apart. All this old plastic, something might crack, it's brittle. We can try to glue it, we may have to replace it. We'll see what we can do. Oh, don't forget this too. This goes in the front of the door panel. Just a little extra help. Alright, let's see if that other motor's here yet. I doubt it is. I'm going to try putting some duct tape on this, see if it'll help a little bit. We'll try a couple of layers first to see how that works. Ta-da! That's a little better. You guys know too, if you're doing these window motor kits that come with these extra wires, that there's a male and a female side and they connect together. So you can save these, cut them, and use them as any 2-pin connector, as long as it's inside the vehicle because it's not weather packed. So you don't want to use it in an engine compartment, but for like something inside, if you add gauges or something, perfect 2-pin connector. Carry a pretty good amount of current too. Won't need trim sticks for a wheel alignment, but I got all my wrenches ready to go. While I'm waiting on the motor, he said it's going to be another 45 minutes or so. Figure I'll knock this alignment out while I got the Young Jedi off the alignment rack. I don't think it's going to need much. The struts aren't adjustable, but depends on how far out the alignment was before, I guess. Tire wear looks halfway decent. Let's see. We had a glitch in the matrix, so I had to restart the machine. This front camera, the one on the bottom, no red lights, and it was saying camera not on, and it turns the cameras on, so I just restarted it. Hopefully that'll fix it. Probably have to re-enter the car again, but that's alright. As long as it works, we'll live. There's no caster adjustment, there's no camber adjustment. Well, you can adjust them with the top strut if you move the strut plate, but the tolerances are all pretty decent. I'm gonna set the toe and let this thing go. It's got a lot of toe in. I'm surprised. Maybe the ball joints made it have toe in. It does have a little bit of toe wear, I guess. See where it's scrubbing and there's like a feather edge here? That's a little bit of toe wear. Could also be aggressive driving. And the tires showing a little bit of age. I'm gonna set the toe and this thing will be good to go. The wheels centered and locked. Just fire up the engine a little bit to get the suspension and steering to relax. Uh-oh. Yeah. You've been loosened. I brought a bunch of wrenches thinking this was going to be 13, 14, or 15, but I'm going to use the old Snap-on. The Muller Keps one is bigger for more leverage, but this grab's actually a little bit better. It just is very short, so you don't have a lot of leverage. I think we'll be all right with this. All right, that's... Now we're getting close. On the other side, when I adjust the toe, I'll show you what the screen looks like while I do the same process. Man, it's happy in the 20s with the toe. Okay. Moves around a little bit while you're working with your nuts. Once you get your nut tight, you're good to go. Now the toe moved because the tie rod moved. So right before I snug that up, I'm going to add a little more toe because it went negative. The more positive it is, the more stability, but you also get more tire wear, so it's always a compromise. Every alignment adjustment is a compromise, and when they, you know, race cars, they talk about tuning and all, they're making different compromises by adjusting more aggressive caster, more aggressive camber, that kind of thing. Let's go to the other side. That one's good to go. Side's out about the same amount, so be a couple turns on the tie rod end. I'm gonna check my steering wheel lock and make sure it's locked good. The other side shouldn't have moved so much. So what I'll do now is I'll let it down, take my steering wheel lock off, fire the engine up, center the wheel again, and see what happens with that. I let it down and the other side changed. That's weird. I didn't see a black cat, so I don't think they changed anything in the matrix. Probably a software glitch. Let's go to our graphs. Alright, that's kind of weird. I'm going to lift it back up and see if the toe changes again. And then I'll bring a little more toe in on both sides if it stays the same. Perplexing. These are the things that make our job interesting. Because, you know, you just say, do an alignment on that. And if only it was as simple as pulling it on the rack, doing the alignment, and you're done. But you always got to do some form of a dance. I don't know why that is, but 3 out of 5 cars you work on is a little dancing involved. It's not a standard, you know, this is the time, this is what you do, and you're done. Loosen these bolts, tighten these bolts, you're done. It stayed the same. So I don't know what's going on. It stayed a little more negative than I originally adjusted it. So I'll just give it another shot and we'll come back. Well, it's not as perfect as I would like it, but I'm gonna take it because that was 3 attempts to get it this good. So let's go up here, show virtual view. So it always exaggerates so you get an idea of what it's wanting you to correct. So when it's camber, it'll have the wheel in. When it's caster, it kind of has a hard time showing you. Then this gauge will change. That's caster. This is the camber, and this is the toe. It's nice and green. I'm gonna go drive it and make sure it goes straight. And the window motor for the other door should be here any minute. Yay, window motor's here. I'm gonna put that back together before I drive it with the door panel on the roof. That would be bad. This Nissan came in, the customer just bought it from H.H. Craig, and apparently it was in a wreck. The radiator's leaking, the condenser's leaking, and everything was pushed back towards the engine. The radiator mount's bent
They just put a new bumper skin on it. I don't know if they got it from an auction and resold it that way without catching it, or if they fixed it by putting a bumper skin on it and trying to hide all the rest of it, which would be super shady. See, the flare's not on. So it either wasn't inspected or some shady stuff happened. Neither are good. See the bodywork? See the bodywork down the doors? This car was basically wiped out and then repaired. Makes me kind of sad, but the customer bought it 5 days ago.
Hey Jimmy, before you do that motor, can you take a quick look at this 2018 Toyota RAV4? My goodness, what could be wrong with a 2018? Is it really? 2018, 11 of 17. Customer states, my AC hasn't worked for about a year, and now my blower stopped working. I got the blower on max, it blows, but oh, there it goes. It needs a motor. Could be a resistor problem too, but the motor just changes speeds like the electric part of the motor is going bad. 95,714 miles on this cream puff. It's obviously owned by a young mother. I'm going to assume she's prepared for every occasion. Got kids' shoes, her shoes, got Crocs ready to go. A booklet on autism, or maybe they're just doing it for charity. I know some autistic kids, really beautiful kids that, and Down syndrome kids too. Obviously, my wife was worked with special needs kids most of her career. When people say things like, "I don't care what anybody thinks," if you know anybody with Down syndrome, they don't care what anybody thinks, and they're awesome people, full of emotion, almost always happy. They let you know how they feel and what they think, and they don't really care whether you like it or not. Anyway, I got this on AC, but it's definitely not cold. But the blower fan did pick up speed finally. So I'm going to get in there with my voltmeter, and when it does slow down again, see if it's still good voltage going to it. I'll take a look at the resistor connector if it has a resistor down there. Sometimes I have a blower module, so it might get a little more complicated. We'll see. And I'm going to check for Freon. She said it hasn't worked for a year. I don't know why you would run your car around for a year without the AC, I guess, but now summer's coming. That's weird. Anyway, let's get under that hood. Gotta open it. Broken Toyota. Oh my goodness. Let's see if there's Freon in it first before I jump to any conclusions. Luckily for them, it's not 1234YF. Of course, I don't know if there's Freon in it yet because I had to face the head wrong the other way so the LED won't be in the sunlight. You guys know LEDs and sunlight are bad. No Freon. That's terrible. Let's put some in it just to see what happens. I'll just put 3/10 in there. We'll give that thing a minute to cook and we'll see if Freon comes out somewhere. That's highly unusual. 2018. Toyotas don't even break. I don't know what this car's here for. Someone had to mess it up. Someone broke it. Oh look, it's got a new battery too. A few months old. Oh, easy girl, easy. Settle down now. The vacuum pump's going out on it. It's been doing that for years. If it was a customer, we'd be like, hey, you need to change that. But for our stuff, we're like, nah, it's fine. It'll blow up eventually and then we'll fix it. Not up to me. Not up to you guys. All we can do is row our boat. You guys know that, right? Let me get a flashlight or a dye light or both, and we'll take a look around, see if something happened. Big thing lately, but I don't see any dye. I don't see dye anywhere, and nothing is even remotely wet. It's almost as if someone took the Freon out of it. I put the 3/10 in. It held for about 10 minutes. So now I'm going to pull the Freon back out and do a vacuum leak test. We may end up doing evac and recharge with dye, just because I don't see anything even damp, never mind dye. I know it needs blower motor resistor stuff. I'm going to get under that dash and look, but it's only a 0.5 checkout for both things. See how far into it they want to get. Just passenger door in time-lapse mode, just because I get to play some licensed music that way. just like that. Only took a second, right? I don't know how long that time lapse is going to be. It's about 15 minutes. The time lapse might only be a minute because I think it's like 10 to 1, so it might be a minute and a half. Well, the Mustang drives nice. Parked that one. That thing's good to go. This one here, didn't give you guys a love rating, I don't think. And even there's a lot of stuff going on in here, it's not really messy. I don't see food or open. Oh, never mind. I was going to give it a 4. Now it's a 3. It's a bag of McDonald's. That's terrible. But she approved it. So I'm going to move all my shoes and stuff out of the way. Push the seat back a little bit. And get to the blower motor. Sold the blower motor and resistor. I said I need to get in there and look at the wiring and the connectors, make sure there's no burns or anything like that. But it's probably going to need a blower, and I'd recommend the resistor because when a blower motor goes bad, it puts a load on the resistor, etc., etc. You guys remember that was part of my 0.5 diag. I said for another half an hour I can dig in there and get to it, and we could apply that to the labor. So they said blower motor and resistors on the way. But that's basically what it was going to probably need. 98% sure on that. So we'll take a look right now and we'll see. And the parts are on the way. Worst case scenario, I go, I also need a connector or something like that. But let's do it. You know, I normally wouldn't take it upon myself to throw out someone's garbage, but look. New car air freshener. You're welcome. That's just how I roll. You're rocking a new car air freshener. Boom. That's a win in my book. Let's get this plastic panel off of here, huh? I don't know if it clips. I gotta get a light. I can't see. You guys think it's dark? It's dark, trust me. It's not an illusion. This thing is about to get forked. Or, oh no, never mind. I see some kind of clipper doodles going on in here. Oh, where is it? Oh. Uh-oh. Just because it's a little clip doesn't mean it unclips easy. Oh, man, they're serious about these not coming out, huh? They're like, we don't want anyone going down the road and having to stick under the gas pedal. You know what happened last time? It's like this isn't installed correctly. Oh, look at that. That one came right out. What's the problem? All you gotta do is complain a little bit and then it works. I'll put this up here with my shoes. That's why it pays 0.5, because they're easy and it's right there. Someone been messing with it. Now that's a good sign. Connector looks good. Let's see this one. Ow. What is with that, man? Look what I found under the seat. I'm really starting to like this lady. I hope her connector's good. Oh, look at that. Nice. Tell you what, I would give this car a new car air freshener if it didn't already have them. Now it just seems like overkill. Parts are on the way. Connectors are good. I feel happy about that. You know, keep in mind that you could probably just do the blower motor. 3 out of 5 times it'll be fine. But in my experience, if the blower motor resistor isn't terribly expensive, and this one's not, it's better to change them. Because when that motor is pulling a lot of current and acting all weird, it takes out the blower motor resistor, and it comes back in a month or 2 going, I don't have second speed, or you know. So it's better to replace it if you can afford it, and if it's not too expensive especially. This one's not very expensive. Now, just to make it fun, even Toyota does some silly stuff, at least from my perspective once in a while. It's silly. This bracket to hold these connectors blocks one of the blower screws. So like if it was over here, it wouldn't block it, but it's over here, so it blocks it. I think I can get an 8mm on a little ratchet and a little power tool do that. Blower motor. Alright, 2 more of those. 1 more and we're waiting on parts. Where'd it go? I can't. Oh, there it is. I see it. Thanks for the help. Appreciate that. I was lost. And I'm twisted into a pretzel here. Doing circus tricks for my pay. I wouldn't have it any other way. Let me tell you something. That's nice. I was hoping it wasn't going to be a bunch of napkins in it, and it really wasn't bad. Ooh, you can feel it's still warm. That's not good. Let's go check on our parts. Stop blowing stuff over there. We got a hot set. A little pocket screwdriver action on these guys. I'll go get a Phillips if I have to, but I don't think I need it. We are legitimizing the new car air fresheners a little at a time. Now, this has a little vent, which is super cool. Just plugs into the port, and it helps hold the motor up. I'm gonna get this screw started. It doesn't hold it on a lot. You gotta get your screw started quicker than that. All right, this time I'm gonna try it with only one screw in my hand instead of all three. We'll see if that works. Ooh, circus tricks. I am totally squeezed off. I gotta reverse my tool, hold this all up. Don't jiggle it because the screw will fall. Oh, look at that light on the tool. It's nice coming in the 21st century with my power tools. I'm really glad I got them. Oh, don't worry, I got a screw in it now. If it wants to fight, we'll fight. I don't care. Meet me on the playground after school. This thing here is a real nuisance because the wires are in the way. And I'm gonna play with this off camera, I think, because it's gonna be aggravating. I gotta hold it, start it, and push the wires out of the way all at the same time. That's not gonna be any fun. Trust me. Okay, you know what I did? I stuck my pocket screwdriver in the screw and then lifted it up and just started the screw. I haven't got the little two guide pins screwed in yet. This wasn't very tight. I took it out with my pocket screwdriver, so let's just snug it up so it won't rattle or anything, and we're good to go. You got to kind of push the wires out of the way to get to the screw. See, the simple little things like this are just silly to me. But every manufacturer does it. The only difference being some do it on every single thing you got to touch, and some do it on a couple of items, but they all have some stuff like this where I think when they build them, they're screwing everything together and then they're putting a wiring harness on afterwards. I don't care if it's in the way or not. That's up to you to deal with later on. That's alright. And we deal with it. That's what we do. I guess the harder and more aggravating it is, the less likely a customer's going to do it themselves. And they'll let me do it. Or watch one of my videos and see that it's really not that bad other than a little griping and complaining. There's a little leg on the back of this. You got to catch that little leg in this hole in the case. There's a little hole to hold it up, and then it just snaps it back in. Boom. Like a brand new car. Uh-oh, you know what though? I lied. There's a little tab over here. It's got to go above. There's two things to get it over with. There it is. The kick panel help hold it up on the side here, plus the back. Alright, let's test it out and see how it works. I'm sure these dormant parts will be fine. No worries. You guys didn't think I was kneeling on the ground, did you?
I'll recommend that.
It's passing a leak check with flying colors. This is the second leak check. I did one before I talked to them about it. And now I'm doing a 30-minute vacuum and another leak check just to be sure. We can check to see how the blower works without the AC done yet. Oh yeah. Give you guys some nice blower action. Some nice blower action right into the mic. It even continues to blow when you turn it down to 2. Once this AC is done, we'll test it out and make sure it's nice and cold. Oh, I could put the shoes back. I'm gonna have to make a short about the air freshener, so you guys look for that. The shorts seem to get tons of views, and actually half my subscribers come from my shorts. So I appreciate you guys that came here to watch a day in the shop because you saw a short. Just the same way as I appreciate you guys that come here for a day in the shop that also watch my shorts. She doesn't hold a lot of Freon, 500 grams. It's less than a pound, so see how it works. We'll see how it works. Kind of surprised too in this car, the door lock doesn't work in the passenger door. I hear something clicking, like the linkage isn't connected or something. Doesn't work in the front door either. Only in the back doors. It's kind of strange. Oh, that air is nice. That is nice. You can see the pressures right there. Everything's working good. I'll crop it in a little bit.
Crushing the machine, crushing the machine. This thing's fixed, so turn it up to 3. Oh man, she is gonna be freezing in here. Look at this. That's nice. I'm not kidding about the new car smell. I'm telling you right now, I smell it. Let's pull this thing around and see what's next. Toyota RAV4 AC update. Started pulling the machine off, and the high side is stuck open. I mean, it's gushing Freon out everywhere. I had to shove it back down on top of the Freon while it was geysering out of there. Is that a word, geysering? So now I'm pulling the Freon back out again so I can change that fitting. So we'll give that a minute to cook, and we'll call do-over. That's all. That's the Schrader. I got regular valve stems and larger, and this here is a larger. These don't normally do this, but this one did. This car's been wrecked, I think, too, so there's a couple of issues going on with that. Probably have these Schraders in my toolbox. So the rubber deteriorates, they stick open. You can see like the headlights bolts have been messed with and stuff on both sides. Anyway, let me see if I have one of these things. I think I do. It's not going back down all the way. In you go. Nope. Stop complaining. Your job is to hold Freon in and keep your mouth shut, or your valve shut. Now the only way, unfortunately, to test this is to put Freon in it over again and take this off and see if it leaks or not. Usually I'll put a little bit of saliva on my finger and put it over the nozzle and see if it bubbles. So normally though, if they're leaking, you'll know right away. Like I did when I pulled that off. It sprayed Freon everywhere, and I just stuck my hand in it to put the valve back on. Alright, seems to be doing something. Nice and cold. Now let's make sure those ports don't leak before we say it's done. Here goes nothing. Oh, that's nice. Now you can just take a finger without AC oil on it and go like this. Nothing's going on. We're good. Alright, this one is really done this time. Alright, we're going to pull the valve cover off of this thing. The insurance company wants to take the valve cover off for some reason. If you remember, this has a rod knock. So we're pulling the valve cover off of it, and we'll see what's in there. I think it's about ready to come off. Just got to do the 10mm bolts around the outside. Some of the bolts are tight. That's acting like something else is holding. Maybe that bolt right there, what do you say? I bet you. Thought it was for the solenoid, but that one's on top. Yeah, still something. Oh, these bolt. Oh, there's another one. Sneaky, huh? I got bolts in weird places. Oh, I do have to take the solenoid out, apparently. That wraps around another piece of cast aluminum. We can do that, no problem. It's not just remove the valve cover, it's the valve cover and engine components to exposed timing chain. It's got a rod knock. Okay. Follow up the parts in the back. Not a big fan of extended warranty teardowns, because then if they decide that they're not going to cover it for some reason or another, the customer's left with an engine torn apart, and they can either fix it or tow it to salvage, I guess. Doesn't make any sense to me, but they want pictures and videos of stuff, and it seems to always kind of spiral out of control. But you guys know, it's out of my hands. I just do what I have to do to make things work. These are the last two bolts from the top. Everything else will come out the bottom.
Water pump also holds the timing cover on. Lower it closer to the drip pan so it doesn't make a big old mess. And then knock it loose. I drained the radiator, but you know, half the water comes out the radiator, the other half comes out the block. It's a cute little guy, isn't it? Cute little water pump. Show you guys what we found. The key with the timing chain problems out in the grass. This one has the rod knock problem. So we took the oil pan off. You see the metal in the pickup and the metal in the pan. That's where the rod knock's coming from. You're gonna reevaluate the situation on this one, and doesn't look like it's seen a lot of love. There's definitely, see that little sliver sticking out of the pickup. I don't know if that shows up, but that's the rod knock engine, not the timing chain one. So they're gonna call the extended warranty company and clarify all that. And that's when they void their coverage, is if you haven't maintained your vehicle. And that's probably what they'll say on this one. We'll see. Hope it doesn't end up in the grass long term with the others. All right, guys, thank God for that Mustang. That was a good ticket. The rest of the day, not so bad. The RAV4 was a pretty good ticket too. Turned out okay. So thanks for watching today's videos, guys. We're getting ready to close up here, so I'll say thanks for watching, and I hope you'll torque the like button. It's right down there. Maybe subscribe. I hope I see you in the next video. You're awesome.